This, that, no nonsense. So I'm coming to you about another video, another Luka Doncic video, as they compare him to Bird and James Harden. I've already said this. I think he's personally James Harden with a much higher IQ. This is what I truly think. I don't think he's Larry Bird. Obviously, they're going to compare him to Larry Bird because he's white. Obviously. And he's probably going to be the biggest white superstar since Larry Bird. That's if he continue this, right, and get better. So obviously Shannon and Skip is going to talk about it.
If I'm not mistaken, I could have swore there was a guy sitting across from Skip Bayless about a month ago. About 6 weeks ago, actually. It said something very similar to this. You remember that guy, Skip?
I do. That's why I wanted to do this topic today.
You were upset then. You probably even more upset now.
You got that right.
Skip, look.
Hey, Shannon, don't make Skip mad. The boy already looking like he got a death ray in his pocket.
I'm not saying he's Larry Bird. Because I don't think Larry Bird is my favorite player. You ask my sister, my brother.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Larry Bird is my favorite player. That's because LeBron is not a player. He's a god. King James Gospel.
I can't get it through my head. How can you do this? He's your favorite player.
Favorite player. I had Bird t-shirts, Bird posters. I had the one of him sitting in the bird's nest. I had those shoes. Larry Bird, so I know.
Hey, I give it to Larry Bird. Larry Bird looked like an angry bird. The boy came out of his womb looking like a bird. You know they said that crap about evolution? He evolved from birds because he looked like a bird.
24, 10, and 6. Okay. That's his career average. Skip, when you look at him, and what you got to understand about Luka, because Luka can score the ball like Larry. He doesn't rebound, but he can play make. Larry was really the first, big forward that they ran the offense through. Most of the time, they ran the offense through the point guard. That DJ was on the team. They had Tiny Archibald 1 year. But Larry Bird, his 6 assists tells you that he could facilitate and could distribute the basketball.
True.
Luka's ability to score.
No, I don't think he's Larry Bird. I don't remember Larry Bird just holding the ball on the three-point line as much as Luka does. Obviously, Luka's in this generation's point guards, where point guards hold the ball at the top of the key or the corners of the key, and they facilitate the offense through pick and roll. I think Larry Bird is a much different player. Larry Bird is the definition of a triple threat, right? He appeared to not be athletic. A lot of guys will say Larry Bird won't play in today's league, which is nonsense. He was the definition of a triple threat, right? A guy, you look at Jokic. Jokic looks like a guy who's not even supposed to beat anybody. But what makes Jokic dangerous is Jokic can shoot. You get on him, he'll drive, and he can pass. Larry was like the extreme version of that. If you back off, Larry can shoot. If you get too close, he'll drive, and he can pass. And he was extremely smart. And he was a killer. That's something Jokic is lacking, in my opinion, currently. But Larry was a killer.
So skilled, the entire offense runs through him. But what people don't realize, Skip, Larry didn't get to the NBA until he was 22. Luka's 20. Luka's 20 years old right now. He got to the NBA.
Well, those were the days where guys played 3 or 4 years in college.
19. So, and he's averaging.
He did get to play professional basketball in Europe at a high level. Go ahead.
He was playing with grown men in like 15, 16 years of age.
Yep.
But Luka right now is averaging 29, 10, and 9, basically. Let that sink in. He's third, Skip, he's third in PER. He's number 1 in usage. And you see, Skip, Draymond Green is a very good defender. Draymond Green has been Defensive Player of the Year. And he was touring with Draymond, had him on a string.
Well, Draymond is a cleanup guy, and he's not as young, or I would say, as athletic as he used to be. Right? Draymond is a guy that if you have a great defensive team, Draymond will lead. He will also communicate with other guys. And also Iguodala. Him and Iguodala act as a... Iguodala's going to go down as the unsung hero of that whole team. Because Iguodala was pretty much like a glue guy. Kind of like what Draymond is. Draymond was the enforcer, right? Draymond is a glue guy, but Andre Iguodala is another glue guy. Right? They both communicate defensive assignments. Andre Iguodala, in my opinion, was the perimeter defender version of Draymond Green in terms of his defense. He guarded the perimeter, and Draymond Green guarded the paint. It's just that Luka Doncic is taller than Draymond, probably around the same size. So he's going to be quicker, and he can shoot. Draymond Draymond's job is not just supposed to be guarding Luka.
Luka, he's legit. Skip, I told you, he's the real deal. And he's the closest thing because we had never seen anything like Bird. We'd never seen a guy that could, Jerry West could score like Larry, could assist the ball, but he was a guard. We'd never seen anything like Larry because we'd never seen anybody that could do what he could do. The last guy to win 3 straight MVPs. There have only been a handful of 3 straight MVPs. I think Russell, Chamberlain, and
Luka actually plays more. If you want to compare him to Larry and Magic, he plays more. And if those were the only 2 categories I have to choose from, then I'll choose Magic. He plays more like Magic to me in terms of his passing, right? But he can score. The only reason why they compare him to Larry is because he's white. That's all. And he might be the biggest white superstar since Larry Bird. He's like a white version of James Harden with a much higher IQ. That's what that's what Luka Doncic is to me.
Bird was the last one. And Bird was doing this when Magic was in the league, when Jordan was in the league. Jordan was in the league, and old lad got them 3 things in a row. He did that, Skip.
See, anytime he can, he gotta destroy Jordan so he can put his Lord and Savior LeBron on a pedestal.
But I think the thing is just hard, Skip, because we've never seen a guy since Larry, a white guy. Because Skip, we only compare white guys to white guys, black guys to black guys.
Well, there you go. There you go. That's why you guys are comparing him to Bird.
You never see the white guy say, "Oh, he look like Larry. He look like Jordan." And they never said even LeBron. LeBron has a lot of Bird in him, but we compare him to who? Magic.
That's true. I'll buy that.
So
no, I do not buy that. That's a horrible comparison. LeBron doesn't have Bird in him. Bird is a better shooter. In my opinion, I think Bird is a better passer. LeBron's going to have more assist numbers because LeBron gets to orchestrate the offense and has a lot more freedom, far more than Bird did. Far more than Bird did. But Bird was a better passer. Look it up. Watch the tapes. Right? A lot of guys rave on LeBron's IQ. I think Bird was a smarter player. But they could probably be on the same boat. But I just think Bird was a smarter player. And obviously Bird is a better clutch player and a killer. LeBron is just a way better athlete. It is what it is.
Skip, for me, Luka, and and I think Steve Kerr said that step back. James Harden, I've never seen anything like this step back, but James Harden is on another level. Okay. But he's added that to his game, his ability to handle the ball, his ability to facilitate and to score. Yeah, Skip, he's the closest thing to Bird. He's the closest thing to Bird that we've seen since Larry Bird.
And about the LeBron and Bird point, a lot of guys, for some reason, they have made it comedic to compare Bird to LeBron. Like, if you think Bird is better, then you don't know anything about basketball. That's just where we've gotten in the state of debating in the NBA, and it's sad. Bird is a top 10 player. As great as LeBron is on the athleticism, was great as Bird was on his IQ level of the game. Bird is one of the smartest players in NBA history. He used his IQ for his shot. Watch it. Watch him talk about the game. He applied IQ to his shot, to his game, to the way he played, to his passing. Because like a lot of guys who's lacking on the athletic acumen, they have to use their brain. LeBron relies more on his athleticism. He's smart, obviously, one of the smartest players in the league. But Bird had to rely a lot more on his IQ and skills because he didn't have the athleticism. Bird is way more skilled than LeBron. That's without question. So when you say LeBron has Bird in him, I don't see no Bird in him.
This is blasphemy. This is heresy. This is, please God, don't strike us with lightning talk.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm afraid we're going to get struck. I'm looking up right now because I'm waiting for lightning to come through this.
Don't jinx it.
This is Larry Bird we're talking about.
Larry Joe Bird.
Larry Joe Bird. It's like, is this fair or foul? Well, in this case, it's foul as in F-O-W-L, as in bird foul, right? It's way foul.
Yeah, because that boy looked like, Larry Bird looked like Miss Foul off Jimmy Neutron.
It nauseates me.
That boy looked like a bird for real.
To even think we're talking about this, because I've been watching this kid, and the only point I give you is he's 20 years of age.
20.
But every time I turn on my TV, He's this and he's that. He's special. I keep hearing how special he is.
He's special, Skip.
No, he's not special.
Yes,
Look at this. All right, great. What you seeing right here is Skip. Skip is like a businessman. He made his career off hating off LeBron, and a lot of stuff he's saying currently of LeBron was right and it's starting to come to fruition. But he hates LeBron, right? So now that LeBron is going out the league, now he has to find another player to hate, as it seems. Or maybe, but however, Skip has the ability to see a lot of basketball intangibles. It may sound like hate at first, but it might turn out to actually be true. So Skip is going to be right and wrong at the same time. He may be right, but he may exaggerate it because that's what he tend to do. He may see something that everybody is afraid to see because people are like foresight, right? And they just regurgitate what everybody else say. Skip will see it through his experience and through his knowledge of the game, but he may exaggerate it, right? And he has his own personal bias.
I'm sorry. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing superstar from Luka Doncic. Not yet. And again, I'm watching him a lot, and I'm watching these numbers a lot. And every fourth quarter I watch him in, he comes apart either physically or mentally.
I was watching a Thunder's game, and he did miss a closing shot. Luka obviously got to get adjusted to the physicality of the game. I said this in my video. I said that the best thing to do to Luka is to beat him up and knock the confidence out of his head. I said these exact words, and I said they should do this in the playoffs. And it seems that teams are, and they normally do this to light-skinned people and, you know, people that are quote-unquote soft. They try to bully them and knock them out of their game. And normally what you do to players that rely more on skill, right? So it seems that they're doing it, and Luka has to adjust to that physicality, right?
Because in the fourth quarters, the book on Luka already is
rough him up.
Just beat him up. The Lakers have been just beating the snot out of him.
Yep.
And it's foul, and it's F-O-U-L foul, but it's just the way of it's the law of this jungle. It's going to be how it's going to be. You're going to get beat up until you fight back and show them it doesn't bother me a bit.
Right.
Larry Bird was the baddest, you know what, and if you want to put it in the white guy category, put it in there. But he was the baddest white guy who ever walked on a basketball court.
He was.
Man, Larry Bird was no joke. Larry Bird was no joke. Hey, y'all gotta watch this man. I don't know how I watched the tapes, YouTube. Y'all gotta watch this man. This man was special. But however, Bird's game didn't jump out athleticism-wise, right? Because a lot of guys just going to assume that he won't be able to play in today's game. But if you look at that, his triple threat, his ability to pass, shoot, drive, his ability to know the angles of the game, right? If you look at Dončić, right, Jokic, I don't know how to pronounce the brother name. Somebody actually got on me for not pronouncing his name, and I don't care, right? I try to, but it don't really matter to me. Nikola Jokic, right? If you was to watch him play, right before you even see him play in the NBA, you wouldn't believe that he can play in the NBA due to his lack of athleticism. And then you realize how skilled Nikola Jokic is and how hard he is to defend. It's kind of how Larry Bird is, but to the more extreme.
He was a cold-blooded killer. He was as much a cold-blooded assassin as anyone this side of MJ because he scared people. He talked a lot of you-know-what, and he backed it up. A lot of people believe he was the greatest trash talker ever. He did it kind of under his breath a little bit. He'd lean over and tell you.
That's why Dr. J fought him. He said, "Give me Holmes. Catch this one. Walk up." And then Doctor's like, "Oh, you talking to me like this here?"
Okay, so let's put this in perspective. Right now, Luka is fourth in this league in scoring. That's pretty great. He's third in PER. Player efficiency rate. That's pretty great.
Yes.
He's third in assists. That's really good when you add all that up. He's tied for 47th in fourth quarter shot attempts. He's tied for 38th in fourth quarter points scored. That's not very good because come fourth quarter, when it's time to go Larry Bird, he can't go Larry Bird.
Skip, that tells me.
Well, that stat can be valid, but also could be flawed because I believe the first year Russell Westbrook averaged the triple-double, he led the league in fourth quarter points. And guys were telling me that Russell Westbrook was clutch. Russell Westbrook is not clutch. Just being real with you. He's too inefficient to be clutch. You got to be some form of efficient to be clutch. You got to have a game that you can rely to be clutch. If Russell is very athletic, then he's going to score, even in the clutch moments, because pressure does not sway Russell Westbrook. So if he's on in the second or third quarter, he's going to be on in the fourth quarter. Pressure doesn't sway him. But if he's not on and he has to rely on somehow becoming clutch, it's not going to happen. Russell Westbrook just took up the most shots and had the ball the longest and was able to rack up a lot of fourth quarter points.
One or two things. Maybe he's shying away, but I believe they're taking the ball out of his hands. They say, you know what? We know what you can do, Luka. Okay, Powell. Okay, Hardaway Jr. Okay, other guys. We're gonna make Seth Curry. We're gonna make these other guys beat the Skip. I'm not gonna let Luka beat me.
Okay, but I've seen games where LeBron, you can try to take it out of his hands. You can't get it out of his hands. He's too big and too strong and too physical, and he'll just say, get out of my... Boy, I'm coming.
Well, Luka, Skip.
You don't have to worry about taking that out of LeBron's hands because LeBron gonna pass that giant. Nobody want to hear about that.
Luka's gonna have to get a little tougher. He's gonna have to get a little stronger. Skip. He's still got he still got a little 20. But wait till he gets some.
He actually looks like he's not in that great a shape to me. He does. No, I'm serious.
He got no definition now.
He's a little pudgy. He
ain't got no definition.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And then I got to say this before I go deeper in the stats. Here's one thing you cannot do in this league, and so far he's getting away with it because he's the next hot guy. You know, he's the it kid. But against my Spurs, it was back on December 26th. He blows off a pick. Porzingis picked Derek White, and so he's got just a free run to the basket, and Seth Curry, not Steph, obviously, Seth Curry goes sweet behind the back, bounce pass to him, and as he goes up, if we can see it right now, as he goes up to dunk, he's laughing. He started laughing while he got the ball because he thought it was such a great pass, and he's laughing, and he laughed all the way down the court. Larry Bird never laughed before he made a shot at the rim. Like a bunny shot.
Yeah.
He didn't laugh because you don't laugh. Because somebody's going to get even with you for laughing.
Skip all that time later. Now, you know Larry done going to them 3-point.
But I understand, he shouldn't get cocky. But however, he's a young kid, right? What I think about Luka, is he able to do this in the playoffs, right? Is he able to lead that team to a championship or at least a Western Conference Finals? We shall see. That's the only thing that's determining Luka Doncic to me.
Tisha, it asks which one of you know what's finishing second.
Yeah, and you know what that word
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised. I'm surprised he didn't get fired on, Skip.
Well, today he would not get away with that. Exactly. I would hope not.
Yeah, yeah. And then he shoot the Skip. You remember he shot the last the 3-point ball and then held it up there like this here before.
That's a 3-point shootout, and he was already Larry Bird, Larry effing Bird, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, he was Larry Bird coming in. I mean, he won Rookie of the Year with 33 votes over Magic, who got 3, who led the team to the... Skip, I'm not saying he's late.
Okay, let me sum this up for you. Right now, Luka, just your step back. He's shooting 32% from the three-point line. That's 138th of the 148 qualified three-point shooters.
Well, that's bad. Well, I believe league average is 36. Well, for somebody like that. So that 32 is going to come back to hunt him. He's jacking it up. So league average is going to drop as time goes by, unfortunately, because guys are just jacking it up. And he's playing that James Harden style of play in terms of step back three. And it's going to go in, but in the playoffs, like I said, they're going to hark down on it, and they're going to use it against them because Dallas don't play defense. So those missed threes are going to turn to fast break layups. Right, but we're going to see because he has a higher IQ. We're going to see how he adjusts. This is why I say the playoffs is the determining factor for me with him currently.
It's just not good. And he misses a lot in the fourth quarter when I think the game's on the line. Like, you got to make that one.
Right.
You know, it's wide open. He can create space because he's 6'7".
Right.
Free throws, he's making 78%, which is better than LeBron, but that ranks 70th of 114 qualified free throw shooters. Right. Larry Bird led the league in free throw shooting 4 times, and in his career, 5 times he was over 90%.
Oh, yeah.
Don't give me Larry Bird.
No.
And look,
close, Skippy.
Okay, I know Steve Kerr because he got to coach some of the greatest teams we've ever seen. That team right now is 9-33. And
see, Larry Bird, I believe, was coach of the year in the NBA. This brother's IQ, as great as LeBron's athleticism was to him, that's how IQ was to Bird. See, obviously, Bird was a lot more efficient than a lot of these players, even in a lot more physical era. So when I hear Bird complain today's league, I just laugh. Like, you guys don't know anything about basketball, and that's probably just picking up the regurgitated crap, where you hear a lot of these media mistress and LeBron promoters try to make you think that's a ridiculous comparison
Some nights I think
or
Steve
debate.
Kerr gets a little full of himself and tries to remind everybody he used to be the sage, the oracle we all went to. Give us the historical perspective because you played with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And now he's still trying to give us historical perspective for the 9-33 Golden State Warriors. And I think he's laying it on a little thick.
Skip is not fond of Steve Kerr. He just basically just said he's only famous because he played with Michael Jordan.
He did play with two, where you have Tim Duncan. I mean, he played alongside Duncan.
No, okay, I got that.
He went with Jordan.
Okay.
But Skip, he was.
Yeah, he played with Phil. He played with Duncan, and he also was the GM of the Phoenix Suns when Mike D'Antoni was the coach. So his offensive diversity and IQ is off the charts.
So close. He did see Larry now. Skip, now you look, I'm not saying the kid is Larry because Larry was, like I said, he busted a lot of people up. I think the Eastern Conference Finals against Dominique, when he and Dominique was going back and forth, Skip, that was one of the great.
I saw it. It was just all-time.
That was in the old Omni.
It was.
He's special, but this kid, Skip, to be 20 years.
Dominique athleticism was also off the charts before he tore his I believe he tore his Achilles. Dominique was a very, very great athlete. A very, very great athlete. They'll try to say guys are bigger, stronger, faster now for some odd reason. I think overall, more guys overall are probably more athletic as a whole. When they say guys are more athletic, bigger, stronger, faster, that's just a lie. Guys aren't stronger, faster, athletic. You can't say Michael Jordan is the best in history, and Magic Johnson, or pretty much Magic Johnson's the best point guard, right? You can't say that Michael's the best, Magic's the best point guard, and at the same breath say guys are bigger, stronger, faster now. People only said that because they wanted to boost up LeBron in terms of him playing a quote-unquote tougher competition than Jordan, because they wanted to push this crowd. Michael Jordan play against plumbers. Like I said before, that's just ridiculous. I think guys are a lot more athletic now because of Jordan. Guys wanted to be like Jordan, so guys wanted to practice their athleticism, right? Play hero ball. So it's a lot more athleticism now. Just like how it's a lot more three-point shooting because of Curry. The athleticism trend started because of Mike. There was a lot of, just as there was Ray Allens and the Reggie Millers before Steph, there were the Dominique Wilkins, right? The Dr. J's. But Michael started the athleticism trend that guys want to follow him, plus the hero ball. Just as there were three-point shooters before Steph, Steph started the three-point shooting trend, right? So when I hear bigger, stronger, that's just nonsense, right? Or more durable, right? I think there's a lot more guys who focus on their athleticism, and there's better medicine, as they say, right, in terms of training facility. But the same people in the 70s are the same people in the 80s and the 90s, just like they were the same people back then, right? It is what it is.
Years old, and to be able to do what he's doing. I mean, there are not very many kids that they turn the keys over to you this early and says, okay, it's yours. Go do. Sink or swim. And that's what they did with this kid.
You want to know the truth? I'm actually trying to take a little pressure off him because he doesn't need this on his shoulders
That's a big
yet.
comparison.
Come on.
Really? Hey, you got to own it.
When you have that kind of pressure that's a big name
To a legend, Larry Legend.
It's a big name to live up to.
Well, that's just you guys. His pressure, right, is going to be what he does in the playoffs. I don't think he's Larry. I think he's like a white version of James Harden. Because, James Harden and a lot of these point guards play the new style where you get to dominate the ball at the top of the key. So he's like a white James Harden, right? He got the core vision of Magic. I think his core vision is similar to Magic. But we shall see as time go on, right? Time will tell. But that's it. If you like this video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. This, that, no nonsense.